When you need to buy a birthday card for someone, where do you go? The Hallmark store or the post office? Both offer a selection of cards, but you have a lot more to choose from at the Hallmark store than you do the post office. And the same is true no matter what government agency you want to pick on. Look, we all know the government tries. That's not the issue. The problem is that they don't succeed all that often. Buying birthday cards, gifts, or anything else from the post office is sort of like shopping at, well, the post office. There's really nothing else to compare it to. The government is good at protecting Americans and building highways, but it doesn't excel at creating an enjoyable, user friendly consumer shopping experience. No wonder the rollout of healthcare.gov was so sloppy. The individual marketplace. A marketplace, by definition, is a physical or virtual location where sellers offer a selection of products and/or services in exchange for something of value, usually money, from a willing buyer. It's also the term the Department of Health and Human Services has used for the new exchange websites recently established by the federal and state governments that allow Americans to shop for qualified individual health insurance policies and apply for a premium tax credit to help them pay the monthly premium. While marketplaces come in all shapes and sizes, there are a few differences between the government's exchange sites and what we normally think of when we describe a marketplace. Let's start with willing buyers. Usually, but not always, buyers actually want the products they shop for in a marketplace. A lot of people would argue that's not the case with the health insurance market, though. While a decision to purchase or go without health insurance protection has always been a personal choice, the individual mandate, which is now in effect, now dictates that people must have health insurance or pay a tax penalty. So many consumers are better described as reluctant buyers than willing buyers. This brings me to another point: supply and demand. In most marketplaces, the products and services that are offered and the price set by those sellers for those products and services is driven by the law of supply and demand. That's not the way health insurance has historically worked, though. Instead, insurance companies price the plans based on their perceived risk. But starting in 2014, health insurance companies selling plans to the individual marketplaces cannot factor in expected claims costs when setting the premium. Instead, the government tells carriers how much they must spend on claims and will investigate any unreasonable renewal increases. In most states, the new rating rules are driving prices up, not down. Another component: variety. In most shopping centers, consumers have a variety of options to choose from, and that's sort of the case with the new health insurance marketplace. But the actuarial value requirements and cost sharing limitations will reduce the number of plans consumers have to choose from. Some of the major players in the health insurance industry aren't even participating, and consumers can only purchase medical plans on the site. If they want other lines of coverage, like dental, life, or disability, they have to look elsewhere. Let's discuss quality versus price. Consumers are used to comparing quality and price when making a buying decision, and some people are willing to pay more for a product with all the bells and whistles, while others are willing to forego some of those features in order to save a little money. While it is true that there is a low, medium, high, and extra high option in the individual marketplace, even the low-level bronze plans come fully loaded. All plans sold in the marketplace must cover all essential benefits, cannot have annual or lifetime dollar limits, and put a cap on the maximum amount of consumer responsibility. Oddly, for many of these plans also come restricted provider networks, the one thing consumers really do want: a wide selection of doctors and hospitals. This is the feature many plans are lacking. User experience. In a retail shopping environment, a lot of emphasis is placed on the ambience of the store. Retailers want to make sure consumers enjoy the shopping experience. Online retailers do the same thing, often sinking millions of dollars into technology. They know that a slow or difficult to navigate site will frustrate and often run off consumers. But healthcare.gov is not set up that way, although they definitely spent the money. Visitors must create an account before learning about their options. The site is slow and doesn't function properly, and it certainly isn't a do-it-yourself experience. Less choice, more cost. The net effect is that consumers who purchase coverage through the individual marketplace, either on healthcare.gov or one of the state exchange sites, are forced to purchase a plan that is probably more comprehensive and almost certainly more expensive than they would like. They have fewer options to choose from than they have in the past. The shopping experience leaves a lot to be desired, and they'll have to look elsewhere if they truly want to protect their family by purchasing other important insurance products. Problem solved. Normally, when the government creates a subpar product, the private market steps up and offers a better solution. The obvious example is FedEx versus the post office, but there are dozens of others, and that's certainly what's happened with healthcare reform. While the Affordable Care Act calls for an exchange website in every state and requires the Department of Health and Human Services, which I'll refer to as HHS, to step in and create one if the state is unwilling, as most of them were, the law does not preclude HHS from finding other ways to get consumers enrolled in qualified plans. And for all its shortcomings, HHS has certainly shown a willingness to provide consumers with some additional options. One of those options is a private exchange website. Like healthcare.gov or state exchange websites, a private exchange is also an online shopping environment where consumers can compare qualified health insurance plans and apply for financial assistance. They can do this if the exchange is set up or connected with a web broker that contracts with the Department of Health and Human Services. The site can also provide telephone assistance where licensed agents, usually located in a call center, can assist an individual with the application process and get them enrolled directly through the carrier's website. Unlike the public exchange sites, a private exchange can also offer additional health insurance options to individuals and families who do not qualify for a government subsidy. Most insurance companies that do offer qualified plans through the government's exchange site also offer a number of additional options outside of the exchange. And some carriers who do not participate in the individual marketplace do offer plans outside the market. Consumers have access to these plans through a private exchange site, expanding the options they have to choose from. Not only can an exchange site offer an expanded selection of health plans, it can also offer a variety of product lines. So, while purchasing health insurance, families can also buy other coverage to protect them financially if something unexpected happens. Some examples include dental insurance. While pediatric dental and vision will be an essential benefit on health insurance policies going forward, most of these plans do not offer comprehensive coverage or provide coverage for adults. Life insurance. This helps you protect your loved ones when you're no longer around. Disability insurance. Depending on the policy you purchase, this will protect your income if you're out of work due to a short or long-term disability. Critical illness insurance. When you're out of work due to a serious illness, the bills don't stop coming. While insurance pays your medical bills, critical illness can keep the lights on and the food on the table. Cancer insurance. Most families have been touched by cancer. This policy provides protection if you're diagnosed with this all too common disease. Accident insurance. People don't plan to get hurt, but accidents do happen. Like critical illness insurance, an accident policy can help pay the bills when you're unable to work. And there are others. Make no mistake, health insurance is very important and something everyone should have if they can afford it, but it sometimes gets a little too much attention at the expense of some of these other products. Through a private exchange site, you can learn about and purchase not only health insurance, but also these other important plans that can protect you and your loved ones from financial loss. Creative solutions. Because private exchanges are owned and operated by licensed health insurance agents, consumers have the advantage of getting some professional advice and hearing some outside-of-the-box solutions that might protect their families while saving them some money. That's something they're less likely to get by calling in healthcare.gov's toll-free number or talking with a navigator, which is an unlicensed individual or organization hired by the government to help consumers with the application process. One of the creative solutions an insurance agent might recommend is to actually forego the required minimum essential coverage that's offered by a qualified plan purchased inside or outside the exchange. For a lot of people, These plans are too comprehensive, and the extra coverage added by the ACA comes at a hefty price. When buying insurance, people have to decide whether they'd rather pay more in premiums and have less out-of-pocket exposure when they have a medical event, or pay a lower premium but retain more of the claims risk. Unfortunately, by setting a minimum on the amount of protection an insurance company is required to offer in a qualified plan, the government has taken away a consumer's option of buying needed catastrophic coverage while keeping their premium at a manageable level. Fortunately, there is an alternative: short-term medical insurance. A short-term plan helps protect families in the event of a large, unexpected medical expense, which is the primary purpose of health insurance. It is not guarantee issue like the new ACA compliant plans. It does not provide the minimum essential coverage necessary to avoid an individual mandate penalty, and it does not cover pre-existing medical conditions. Still, for families seeking protection from catastrophic medical events, a short-term plan certainly does the trick, and it does so at a much lower price than a qualified individual plan. Often, a short-term plan is 1/3 the price of an individual policy, so even consumers who have to pay a penalty could still come out ahead. And in some cases, a short-term plan provides better protection since the deductible and coinsurance amounts are lower. And with a guaranteed issue window each year from October 15th through December 7th, families who purchase a short-term policy have an option available to them if they do develop a condition that would prevent them from renewing their temporary policy. In summary, the Affordable Care Act is a huge piece of legislation that will impact nearly every American. Over time, it will cause a shift from the employer to the individual market as companies drop their group health plans so their employees can apply for a guaranteed individual policy and government subsidies to help pay the bills. And while the government has not delivered a desirable consumer shopping experience for people who want to buy health insurance, there is an alternative. A private exchange site offers a wider selection of health plans, can help people who qualify for a subsidy as well as those who don't, gives consumers the option of buying lower-priced, short-term solutions that actually fit into their budget, and offers the other lines of coverage that most families need. It's a one-stop shop where individuals and families can learn all about their options and gain the peace of mind that comes with knowing they're protected.